Welcome. Happy January 23rd. I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys last week at a team meeting because we not only had snow, but we had scheduled the ALC meeting. So I haven't talked to you since really that second week of January. So how's it all going, guys?
Good.
2018 so far so good? Seeing some energy in the market. I've noticed that Harvey Hiccup might be getting in the rearview mirror. You guys feeling that out in there?
Yes.
All right, well, let's do our early bird drawing. Amber's here. Come on up here. We'll lure her out like this. You guys know Amber Dickey? 210 Home Warranty.
Good morning. Morning. I'm going to pick a good one. Peter?
Peter! $75.
Awesome.
Nice to get in here early. And you may as well just talk to us for a
Okay,
minute.
great. Awesome. My name's Amber Dickey with 210 Home Buyers Warranty. I brought some brochures, refilled it back there. Thank y'all so much for your business. I do see that we are getting some warranties, and that's exciting. So thank you very much. We also have our great sellers coverage, so make sure y'all take advantage of that. If you have questions about that, please call me and I can go over that with you. We also have the signs, the writers to go on your signs as well. And then also I do support open houses, door hangers, so if y'all want to tag team, I'll go door hang with y'all. Also can support your open houses, bring cookies, gift cards, hang out with you while you're sitting there. I would love to support your business. So if y'all need anything, feel free to call me. I'm here to help any way I can. Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Seller coverage, is that free to the seller during the
It is,
listing process?
absolutely, absolutely, it sure is.
Okay.
And it has all the information here too, and again, I know you're very busy, so if your sellers have questions about it, don't even bother, you can just have them call me. You don't have to stress about it, you don't have to sit on the phone with them for 30 minutes, just say, hey, call Amber, she'll help you. She's a specialist, I go to training every other month for it, so I can definitely help you in any way I can. So just give them my information, and I even have this in a digital copy, so if you want a digital copy to forward over to your sellers or buyers, I can do that as well. Okay,
Thank you.
thank y'all. I'll be in the back if y'all need anything.
And guys, I'd like to tell you I use 210 Home Warranty myself. I'm getting ready to do my third property with that. They've been excellent customer service. And Amber's coming in and sponsoring lunch today at RPR. She's doing career visioning for us tomorrow. So she's really giving back out to us. So send some business her way. So let's talk about prayer requests. Anybody have a burning desire to have somebody pray for? Yeah, my friend sliced the heck out of her finger yesterday, and so she's in a lot of pain, but she's got a big bandage on it, and she's okay, so I'm praying for her. That's right.
Helen Coon's husband.
Can you tell us?
I haven't got an update today. I haven't talked to her, but her husband was in the hospital with heart concerns and running tests yesterday. So we're waiting to hear. I need to call her.
We're worried about Helen Coon's husband. Bruce Frankie had his knee surgery, and then a second one because his first one he fell or something. What happened, Ruth?
Yeah, and they operated yesterday. He's home, had a big blood clot in his knee, tore the heck out of it. So they sewed it up again.
So, Bradley, you want to lead prayer?
Sure. Almighty God, Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and all of our many blessings. We beseech thee that you would continue those blessings the remainder of the year. Be with Helen's husband and bring comfort to Helen. And be with Bruce Frankie. Bring him healing to his knee. Bless us and keep us, protect us. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. David Weekly. So David Weekly is here and sponsored breakfast.
I'm gonna do my catwalk down here.
She's looking fierce today for sure. She had on this nice coat. I'm gonna get all the way.
I'm Angela, and I'm at the Hills of Westlake, which is right down the street, y'all. So you got to come visit me. And we've got homes crossing. We're from 209 to over 300. But right now, I've got a lot of homes in inventory. In the 60s that were rebuilt, 3-car garages. So we've got 2 cars, 3 cars. The lowest price I have one right now in the 3-car area is starting at $295. So I've got some great pricing, some great things going on. The neighborhood is filling up quick. I've already sold 4 this month. So y'all need to come get some commission from us. Yay. So we're going to do a drawing. We have 2 $50 gift cards.
Oh, get my card's not in there.
Is that what happened? Is that the magic?
I'm gonna bury it.
Really?
So, whoever wins has to do the catwalk down, okay?
Here.
I was
You don't see the same thing.
Yes, it was.
Brian.
Right, baby.
You're
You
welcome.
guys giving out BTSA this week?
You know what? If you're really, really sweet to us, we'll work something out.
Okay. Really sweet.
You are really, really sweet. I'm Ken Hoffman, and I work with David Weekly, New Home Sales Counselor, and I have the Falls of Imperial Oaks. And I'm in Angel Park. It's almost sold out. I have 1 dirt to build on, and I have 6 inventory homes. We're going into a new community, the last one in the Falls. It is going to be called Birchwood Canyon. It's not for sale yet, but I am taking names, and we've got a pretty good list going. So it's going to be real popular too. We're within 270s to 450s over there, 3-car garage. Nice David Weekly product. I put my flyers in the back if you're interested.
And my flyers are by the food, because I know y'all all go by the food. Thank you.
Okay, so when you guys think about your new construction inventory, isn't it nice to have builders come here and talk about what's going on in the building market? So get to know those neighborhoods they're talking about and go out and see those on-site sales reps. Somebody tell me what a buy the selling agent meant that she talked about, or that Brian asked about. BTSA, she said?
Bonus to the
Bonus to the selling agent, extra money on those new constructions?
Yep.
Cool. All right, let's go to Texas only.
Yes, ma'am.
Matt?
You ready?
Ready?
Okay. How's everybody doing this morning? Good. Good. Hey, this morning I wanted to talk about something that we all see on our contracts, and it's probably one of the 2 or 3 most overlooked things on a contract, especially on a 1 to 4. So if you go to number 6, paragraph 6, which is the title policy and survey section of the contract, all right, if you go to 6A8, all right, it says the standard printed exception as to discrepancies, conflicts, shortages in areas or boundary lines, encroachments or protrusions, or overlapping improvements, 1, will not be amended or deleted from the title policy, 2, or will be amended, read as shortages in areas at the expense of either the buyer or the seller. Okay, does anybody know what that means? What's it mean, broker?
Which broker?
Well,
Matt.
well, the standard policy does not cover shortages of area or, like boundary infractions. So they can purchase additional coverage
Right.
for that, and then they just have to determine who's going to pay for it, the buyer or the seller.
Right, and
And
so
I believe it's what, 5%?
it's
of
5% of the
the
policy.
title policy.
So let's just say your title policy was $1,000, it would be $50 additional dollars. Okay. So what it really means is, I mean, you're insuring the unknown. I mean, and this is one of the things why we encourage people to get a new survey, because surveying and from 1994, there might be a survey that's good and it's acceptable, but there might be something different that's found. I mean, maybe all of a sudden it shows up in the record that there's an electrical easement that cuts across the middle of the driveway that wasn't there on the survey in 1994, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, there's all kinds of things that could be, in the property that we don't know. Maybe the neighbor's driveway is 6 inches over into the property line, okay? Or maybe Kelly mentioned that, sometimes you might see in neighborhoods that are a little bit closer, is that the pad for the air conditioning might be over the line a little bit. So, for a little bit of extra protection against, and it's mostly unknowns, okay? This is, if they know it's there, that's a different thing. If it shows on the survey, it's known, but maybe there is an unrecorded easement, electrical easement, that, shows up at the last minute after the buyer has bought the house, all right? So that extra coverage, gives your client a little bit of peace of mind in terms of protection in terms of encroachments, easements, things like that. And I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I would always be leery of someone who says, I'm selling this property with all of the standard restrictions in place. Okay, because that means they know something. Okay, so think about that section. When you're going through your contract, okay? I mean, I know it seems rather insignificant. You don't find this on commercial contracts so much, or you find the shortages piece on a farm and ranch contract. They're actually talking about shortages in land, and then the price will be adjusted accordingly. But, kind of put some thought into that. I mean, maybe there is some things that could be addressed or weren't addressed. Always look at Schedule B, okay, of your title commitment. Yes, ma'am.
On that specific verbiage though, it gets rid of, if you choose to have that coverage, it gets rid of a lot of the exceptions, except the shortages in the area.
Right.
Shortages in the area still stays.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure.
So, any other
So
questions?
Matt, is it safe to just always check that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say yes. I mean,
Always.
it's always a negotiation piece, with, and quite honestly, it's not a lot of money. The last one I did, we actually filled that out and we put at the expense of the buyer, because this is protecting the buyer from future. And my client, once I explained it to my client, this was, 18 months ago, he understood why the protection was necessary. And we don't find a lot of the things happening in lot block subdivisions, but it can happen. I mean, we had one, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, where there was a fence that was over the line. And then we found one in Walden where 8 inches of the house protruded into a electrical easement. They just kind of built the house like that instead of straight, So things do happen, and so, for that little extra protection for your client, it might be worth it to check will be amended usually at the expense of the buyer. So, all right, any questions?
Well, it doesn't physically remedy the
No, it doesn't, but
problem, right? It just changes the survey, what's drawn on the survey. Or
No, it doesn't change what's drawn on the survey,
Huh?
but it protects against maybe they built the house in an easement, okay, that wasn't recorded. So it does give your client some protection in terms of.
If the customer ever ends up in a claim situation where they have to pay money to remedy a protrusion into their property, let's say the example of the air conditioning pad that's over the line, if your customer ends up in a claim to try to fix that themselves, then they have a claim on their policy that we would help pay for that.
Right.
Okay, it's not that we're gonna go out there and fix it. We're only gonna,
Only if it comes to a law.
if only comes to a claim, if they end up with a claim situation where they're gonna end up having to pay to cut the driveway off their property, then we will help. That's when the claim on the policy, and I say we meaning Fidelity, not, I'm not out there cutting the driveway myself. We're gonna help pay for that claim. Does that make sense?
Or do the fence, or.
Yeah, something like that. All right, so just to kind of to give you a preview of next week's topic, filling out a complete contract.
Oh.
Man, all those details of those contracts. So guys, one thing that I'm thinking about this, if you've been around a while, you know that was a contract change when he's talking about part of the contract came in. How long ago, Matt, was that?
About
3 years ago, right? So we didn't used to have that in the contract. And one thing I think about contracts is we'll use the term standard, customary, what was the usual way to do it. You guys are protecting the buyer. What would you check on that contract? Will be amended, right? Paid by the seller because they're conveying the property to you. If you're the listing agent, what might you want it to say?
Will not.
Not gonna do it, or not gonna pay for it because it's protecting your client anyway. So as you think about which client you're protecting, and then I actually had it happen back when I was an agent where I went to the closing table and I had put will be amended to the my client's cost, and yet I didn't have the conversation with them. And then on the closing statement, they said, "What's this, $75?" Well, I felt terrible because every little penny that you charge them can come up in the conversation. So just be aware of your contracts and what things mean, okay? All right, let's move on to Gil.
Morning. I know, Ruth's gonna be talking a little bit about condos, right?
Condos.
Okay, so, you have a couple sheets in your chair. One is just a flyer to let you know that, we do non-warrantable condos, at Guild. So what that means is if it doesn't meet the Fannie Mae requirements or FHA requirements or something along those lines, we can still do it. There's a chance that it may fit the guidelines for a non-warrantable condo. So it gives you just the basic criteria on the flyer. It tells you that they have to have a 680 credit score. We can do purchase, rate and term refinance, or cash out options. There's all different occupancy options, so it can be a primary residence, second home, or investment property. And then loan amounts as low as $100,000 and as high as $1.5 million. So, you know, that does cut out some of the non-warrantable condos in our area because there are some of those under $100,000. But it's still an option for some of the ones that are above that. The second sheet is a lot of information. This is a matrix that's specific to Guild. It's a 7-page document that talks about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac requirements. The only pages that I printed for you guys is the ineligible properties, because that's something that y'all definitely want to know. It talks about a lot of the weird stuff that, you know, houseboats and that kind of stuff. But then it also talks about some of just the basic criteria that, you know, if you've got a 2 to 4 unit condo complex, it can't have somebody owning more than one, right? So if there's, you know, one person that owns 2 of those properties, that property would be ineligible. You know, and there's different kind of quirky things like that that would make it ineligible for Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. So that's, you know, just for you guys, for your information. If you want the full 7-page document, I can give that to you. But this is what I thought was most important. We do some, you know, FHA approved, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac approved condos. There's not too many in our area that we utilize, but I think Ruth's going to go more into how to determine whether it's approved or not. And we can definitely help with that as well. Any questions for me about condos? None? Okay. Real quick, Taryn is in the back of the room. Taryn Lawrence. She's the newest member of our team. You guys all know Ashley. She's my licensed assistant. Taryn is working on her license. She has several years of experience with a bank, but she's getting licensed as an originator and is going to be working on our team as well. So come say hi to her.
Taryn, nice
Well
to
done.
So when you guys are putting your listings into the MLS, how important is it that you know whether or not your property qualifies for FHA loan when you put that in? Right? Let's let Ruth come.
Okay, guys, we had this come up last week, and what happened was that our agent didn't know that the condo was not approved for FHA financing. Can we go to that first screen? No.
The one where it's cut out, or the?
No, the
Oh, wait, I know.
website.
Yeah.
Okay. on this piece of paper, I have the link for you to go to check to see if the condo is approved. Can you type in Montgomery, or hit Montgomery County and let's look. We don't have very many in Montgomery County. We only have one on the lake, and where is it?
April Point North, Section 5.
Okay, number 3. Okay. Only one on the lake, and there's not that many in April Point North, Section 5. So there's not very many opportunities around the lake. So if you get a buyer that's working with FHA financing, condos are not going to work. So that brings up, what's the difference between a condo and a townhome?
Oh, townhome has land underneath it, condos do not.
Oh, well, what's it sitting on?
Well, that's common ownership, right?
Okay, the difference is that the land is not owned in fee simple by the condo owner. It is by the townhome owner. So, because it's not fee simple, it's a whole different deal. Okay, so if you go to Montgomery,
Guys, I'm gonna turn this light off, is that okay, so you can see the screen a little better?
Go to the Montgomery County Appraisal District, if, you know, like, there's a lot of them that people aren't sure about. Look at the legal description. See, it's got Phase 1, Building C, Unit 105. You don't have that for townhomes, do you? That's just a condo. So, let's go back. There's a couple of other things. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, let's go back to the other, and there's a couple of things I want to talk about here. Who knows what a resale cert is? Okay? Anna, what is it?
That's where they're gonna give you the information to convey the property over to the new buyer.
Okay, why is that important? And why should you read it?
See if there's any lawsuits against the property.
Lawsuits against the property, it discloses liens maybe by the owner.
What their reserves are.
Whether or not there is a assessment going on?
Yeah, because what happens if there's a lawsuit pending and you've got the buyer? What can happen to your buyer?
Well, they wouldn't be able to purchase the property maybe.
They maybe couldn't buy it, but beyond that, what happens? Bigger assessments to cover legal fees. We had that 2 or 3 years ago where the guy bought a listing from this office and his realtor didn't look at the resale cert. He goes, so why didn't you tell me there was a lawsuit? Well, first of all, you're not our client, and did you not read the thing? Well, he got it at closing, and no, nobody read it. So get the resale cert on time, don't close without it, and read it. That's probably the biggest thing out of this. Okay, so all your other stuff's on here. You've got your links to MCAD and to also to the website where you can search.
Did you talk about owner occupancy percentage, or this might be the lending question, but I know sometimes your qualification of a condo has to do with how many owners occupy.
Yeah, I didn't, but that's important. That's what determines whether it's warrantable or not, right?
So your lender helps you with that usually.
Yes.
And that should be on the resale certificate in most cases. That's why it's really important not to get it at closing and to get it up front. Because that will tell you, and usually what we look for is that 51% or more of the condos are owner occupied. So where we run into issues is where, you know, a bunch of the properties are investment properties.
Yeah, I don't think we have any of them around the lake, but I know they may not still be there. Port Aransas had what they call condo-tels, which means there's actually a lobby. People own the condos, but you come in and rent it like a hotel. So that's one thing that's not going to be warrantable.
There's one of those in April Sound.
Is there?
They're all around, especially in the woodlands, so it's just important that you get that resale certificate if it's a condo. Understand the differences in the condos. There may be a first right of refusal, which can affect the lending process. And you might have to get that stuff finished before you can get the closing. You might have to get the HOA info.
So let's talk for a second, and we'll come back to that, about the cost of the resale cert, who pays for it, when you get it, all of that. What's the strategy on that?
So that's part of the condo contract. And let me let somebody else answer besides me.
What's negotiable, isn't it? You pay for it.
Well, it's negotiable, but typically standard and customary, the seller provides it. So one thing that the buyer a lot of times will pay is the transfer fees. You guys have to be very aware that sometimes the transfer fees are quite high, like up to $800. I mean, it can be pretty steep. And you've put your, we'll cover about 100, and you don't realize how much fees we're talking about. You'll see some listing agents put the word all in for transfer fees. Condos can be the neighborhood it's in, the HOA that it's in. It can add up, clubs, social memberships, etc. And then the resale certificate, someone's gonna have to order. If it's your seller, it might take 10 days, 2 weeks to get it.
It's
So
always
that's
the
all.
seller that has to pay for it on a condo.
The seller has to pay for
Has
it?
to pay for the resale cert. But the deal is like Walden, say for instance, you've got 2 levels of resale certs, right? Because you've got the condo level of resale cert, and then you've got the Walden level of resale certificate. So that's actually when the mandatory membership at a POA, even though it says not to be used with condos, you still have to use it for the Walden level of mandatory membership at a POA. So on the condo contract, the resale cert is always, for the condo, is always paid for by the seller, but it's negotiable for the overall POA level, the HOA.
I believe the contract has a checkbox.
No, I don't think so.
And also, it can get very complicated with condos. For example, some of the April Sound condos, they have a POA, and then they also have the April Sound POA, and only parts of the building that I own are required to be a April Sound POA. The other sections are not required to pay the $181 a quarter. They can if they want to, if they want to get in the gate, easy. So there's
Well, and one thing, not to interrupt you, and I'm sorry, but one thing also is you can't necessarily, you guys are professionals, I'm hoping you've checked out what the costs are before you list the property, but sometimes the MLS is incorrect.
Right.
So getting a hold of the true POA, HOA, you know, there's some research that has to happen with condos.
Absolutely.
And they do vary per section.
Yeah.
Like Ruth found one section was allowed for FHA, one wasn't. So if you guys get to know your condo inventory, these are things that you'll learn.
And just remember, you've got POA and country club in some of these subdivisions, and they're 2 total different entities, and it's not covered on the HOA or POA.
That's right.
And that needs to be addressed in special provisions, so some of you newer agents that aren't aware, because I've made a mistake more than once. When you get to closing, and those transfer fees are there, and it doesn't say, then who's paying for it? And most of it's gonna be you.
We learn those expensive mistakes usually once or twice in our careers.
Jessica, you had one more
The
comment.
only thing I was gonna say is that, don't trust the name of the complex
Yeah.
on figuring out whether it's a condo or a townhouse. We ran into a recent situation, with some, condos in Conroe that, it's called such and such townhomes.
Townhomes of Pine Hollow.
There you go, but it's actually a condo, so
Because
everybody.
sometimes they've changed over the years.
Right.
But there will be, you can find in the county records, in the county clerk's records, if it's a condo, there's going to be a development document. And it's under condo, I mean, you can find it, we can help you find it, but it's, if you look for that, you can always figure it out.
But I thought condos were several levels high.
Doesn't matter, don't have to be.
And townhomes weren't.
No,
Land.
Really?
It's land or no land?
yeah, be simple land or no.
Right.
So guys, if you want to go dig deeper into this, come to the contracts class. We can go over it there, okay? All right, so I already talked to 210, I already talked to this, where am I here? My Eagle Award. So you guys may have already had an email where they were asking you who you think the Eagle is. This is somebody in the office who is just, goes out of their way to be helpful to you. It's really an honor to get this award every year, and love for your participation in who you think. And then during the award ceremony, we'll give this award out. So please respond if you think that you can name someone that has helped you since you've been here, or lately, or all year, I guess, right? 2018 ALC. You guys, we introduced them at the first of the year. I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. So Donna Story, Brian Richardson, Jennifer Abear, Matt West, Shelley Faust, and Paul Gomberg, all representing Everyone know that I moved the ALC meetings to the third Tuesday of the month. So there won't be a team meeting on those Tuesdays. There'll be an ALC meeting. You're all welcome to attend those and find out what the ALC are doing at those ALC meetings, and realize that they are your voice for leadership, for things that you'd like to see changed or questions that you have. These guys are what I call servant leaders, and they're the top of the top, and they're here to give back to you guys, and they give a lot. So I have let me see what I have next. Yes. The ALC, as they go into the plan for 2018 and what we're bringing you guys, the vision for the Market Center, the training that we bring, they have committees. And we need support and you guys to be involved. And as you become involved, you'll just grow yourselves being around that synergy. So the ALC committees will be Culture Committee. Somebody tell me what the Culture Committee does.
Red Day.
Red Day will be something that'll be coming up in May, yes and yes? Well, that takes a lot of effort to put together. That's where we go back and give to the community. What else would they do? Let's think Christmas parties, potlucks, there's all kinds of social events. So if you think you'd like to be part of the social and part of the giving, that's the committee for you. What is a growth committee?
Recruiting.
So it's recruiting, it's helping the company grow. It is being attractive. It might be like when we do the agent panel, that would be an example of a growth event. When we're bringing events in other market centers and ours. So when you guys care about growing your profit tree, this would be wonderful for you to get on and help us to come up with ideas to be attractive to other agents. Because as we grow, you guys' profit grows and your wealth grows. Career Development Committee. Training, education. As we sit in that committee, we're going to be talking about what do the agents need to learn to grow to mastery. Okay? And if you guys, anyone has an interest in being an instructor, this would be something that you could grow, develop that skill. And then the Financial Planning Committee, that's the actual numbers of the business. It's not all of our favorite topic, but it might be yours. And that's from running your business like a business to us running our business. The discussions about the financials of the Market Center and your own businesses, okay? So I have a sign-in sheet for if you're interested in the committee. I'm gonna pass it around. You don't really have to sign it since you're already on the ALC. And so we'll be talking at next ALC committee more about these, or ALC meeting about these committees, and encourage you to get involved. All right, welcome new agents. Lisa Fuentes, Mark Rotowski's in the room. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi. Robert McGowan. I think Robert's here. Robert's going to be over working with Mike Berger, so we're excited to get him. Guys, please help new agents.
Oh.
What happened?
Is that it?
Congratulations, Cappers, Marie Martin and Margaret Bowers. 100%, don't we? Somebody tell me what this is. What is this? So what's on the wall here is our belief system, right?
Yep.
Mission of the company, the vision of the company, the values of the company. Why do I want to talk about this?
Changed.
Well, it did change. The mission changed. I think it was last year. The International ALC changed this. This is like something I'll talk about in orientation, and I'll talk about in the career classes, and then sometimes we don't even talk about it as an agent base. When you're out there, maybe you're on the growth committee and you're talking to co-agents about why we come here. We end up talking a lot about culture when we talk about why we love it. And yet there's more than just that. There's different things about the company that are a little bigger than just selling real estate. So the vision to be the company of choice for agents and their customers. The values, God, family, business. When I think about the culture committee, a lot of times we're going to the God and family part. And then the financial committee might be doing more of the business part, but there's all three, right? And then the career worth having, business worth owning. 2018, I'm wanting you guys to turn up the business worth owning part of this. Legacy worth leaving. What do these mean to you and how is that infiltrated in? So let's keep going. I'm just kind of bringing it up now and then, guys. Full. Somebody tell me what this means. All work expands to fill the time allowed.
Needs to be given enough time.
Look, Earl's bold over here.
This is me.
So as we get busy, you guys sometimes tell me you're just slammed, right? Anybody ever taken like an extra college class and all of a sudden you were cramming and yet you did still get everything done because you expanded the time allowed to get what it was done? So you guys understand what I'm talking about here? No matter what you say you're too busy to do, it's because what you're focusing on expands. So here's your training calendar. What are you guys doing for personal growth? And you guys know this is all on the internet. We're hitting towards the end of January and moving into February. So all the new agents taking Ignite. There's career visioning this Wednesday. A lot of my top producers are attending that to grow your team. I'm bringing that in. If you don't know about it, come talk to me about it. Never ending referrals on the 25th. I'm going to be talking about that on and on and on, guys. If you haven't plugged into it yet, please consider plugging into it. I think it's going to be the most impact on your businesses. You've got Triple Crown lunch on the 26th. You guys would have had a special invitation to that. Jenna?
When you're finished. Let's see, on the Ignite, can we put the definition or the description of the sessions instead of just session number, session 9 or whatever?
Sure, we could do that. We're limited a little bit on this internet calendar on what all the characters we can put in. But Judy, we can put in the
Well, it
description.
won't display on the.
I won't display the what this is, but you click on the.
We have to say it's Ignite, so we have to start with that description.
But you can put it on this.
But I know, but I think she's talking about on that digest, you want to see it?
Yeah,
With more
yeah.
descriptions?
Or, yeah, on the digest. Really?
We can.
So you actually
We're
click
limited.
on it and it launches you into that, and then you can
I
see
know,
the
you can do
description.
that, but
Yeah.
just to see it on the condensed version, we can't.
Or maybe you can just put a PDF of the descriptions. That's it.
I could post it somewhere for you.
We can link to any of
And
that,
one thing
whatever.
is, I had done a training education class, and I had to come in and teach some Ignite material, and I know Matt does a lot of Ignite material, and Dawn, and it's amazing material. The first time you take it and you're brand new, there's no way to absorb it all. You guys think, oh, this doesn't apply to me. It would apply to you over and over and over. Some of the best material. It's just, don't think that it's only for new agents. And then your career growth initiative on Monday, there's not going to be a call from what I hear. I want you guys to stay tuned for a special exciting announcement that's coming Monday. Can't tell you more yet, but something's coming. So have your little ears open on Monday, okay? And then these team leader labs. That's just me coming in before the team meeting and training and consulting you guys to whatever it is you need. So if you want just a little boost from me, come to that. And there'll be, your Tech Tuesday classes, your contracts classes, your compliance management. Who in here has all their templates set? Easy to go blow with the contract, no problem. Raise your hand. Okay, about 40% of you. We're paying Wendy to come into the market center and do one-on-ones with you guys to instruct on .loop so that you guys don't feel that frustration in compliance. If you guys are masters of .loop, other than Allison, I don't know anyone that are in the disc. Well, it's not that you guys don't come to the training, but come to do a one-on-one then. My best advice for you is have your templates done. That's just easy. And then the second part of career visioning will be here on the 7th. I don't have my calendar really up for February yet. So let's scroll through my next feed here so I'm going to get you guys speed up a little bit here. RPR today, right? 3 hours. Continuing education. We haven't brought that class in a while. It's one of the favorites. Master instructor coming in, lunch provided. Career visioning, I've already told you, is we're doing it Wednesday. Let me know. This is really a top producing class when you're ready to take your business to that next level and build a team. If you don't know about it, haven't signed up, just talk to me. Never ending referrals, session 4. Social media for the database warrior. So we're going to get into social media. I know a lot of you need that content. And that will be January 26th. I've changed it this week from 11 to 12 because of Triple Crown Lunch. Okay? Ruth will be facilitating it. If you guys have not plugged in, I can catch you up at any time. Think about doing it. Be, do, have. Another bold loss. Somebody talk to me.
Sorry.
Let's say I wanted to be the best team leader on the planet.
Which you are.
Which I am. I would have to do the thing that other awesome team leaders do to have what they have, maybe a growth of a market center, to have abundant agents, etc. So who do you guys have to want to be? Maybe you want to be a successful agent. you'd have to do the things successful agents do, right? Let's watch a fun video. Don't you leave, Jennifer. She hates the videos.
Ready.
My formula for life success continues that on. Most of us want to have stuff. In order to have, you have to do. In order to do, you have to be. Be times do equals have. Once you define what you want to have, see, how many of you have watched the movie The Secret or read the book The Secret? Hands right up high. There should be a whole bunch of you in this room. Okay, so you've read The Secret, you've watched that movie. Did any of you other than me have a serious problem with that movie? It missed a major proponent of success. It's just that there's one four-letter word missing from the entire book. Work. I've yet to meet anyone who sat on a hill and owned their way to a multi-million-dollar corporation. Customers turn up. Positive thinking is definitely a part of it, but positive thinking without positive action leaves you with positively nothing. This explains why people who work harder don't get more. They're just doing more. They've not changed who they are or what they believe in. They've not worked on themselves. It's why Jim Rohn, and it's in every seminar I've ever taught, Jim Rohn put it best: work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Your being, which is what The Secret talks about, who you are as a person, what you believe in, your skill set, your knowledge base, the values you have, all of those things, your beliefs, that is part of your beingness. Who you are as a human being. The value that you intrinsically have that you can add to the world because of how much you know and how much and the type of person you are. Multiply that by what you do, and that'll equal what you have. But here's how the formula works. You got to add these two pieces to it. You are what you think, and you can only you can only do what you are. See, if you are a tomato seed, what can you grow into? A tomato plant. You can't grow into a cucumber. Who do I need to be in order to have my goals? See, let's just use an example. Well, let's say for me, raising the money, raising the 500 million in the future, who do I need to be in order for someone to invest 500 million with me? Do I need to be a successful business person? Yes or no? Yeah. Do I need to be someone who knows how to invest money? Yes or no? Do I need to know about return on investment, financial statements, how to read them, how to do all that? All that? Yes or no? So it's who I need to be in order for my goal to become a reality. Jim Rohn said it best to me when I was 16 years of age. He said, and I quote, "Never wish your..." Write this down, please. "Never wish your life were easier. Wish that you were better." Never wish your life were easier. Wish that you were better. When you get better, life gets easier. Pretty incredible. A famous poetic couplet that I really do like said, "Never bring your dreams down to reality, for to set lowly goals is to cripple oneself from within." Now they talk about the glass ceiling. There's no glass ceiling. What there is a mental ceiling. Be average, do average, have average. Be great, do great, have great. Be incredible, do incredible, have incredible. B times do equals, the formula works. Whether you use the formula or not, it still works.
Red sugars, I like it.
We have to be tomato seeds.
So, as you guys talk about your goals and your aspirations for 2018, who are you looking to get there? What do you need to change? I'm gonna stay up with my thing here. So let's go back to Never Ending Referrals because I want to talk to you guys about it. I know several of you in the room are already plugged into it and some of you aren't. So part of Never Ending Referrals.
Oh, this is this one. Should we go back to the one?
I want that one right there.
Okay.
So this is, somebody tell me what D2 means when I talk about it. What do you see on my board over there by my office?
Two letters of the alphabet.
do the database too, right? Here's the thing, where do I think the biggest return on your money is in your business? Database, right? Why do I care about your database so much? It's the biggest gap most of you have when I talk to you over and over and over, every level of agent. It's your database. It's either I have already met them or I need to go meet them, okay? So what the nice thing about Never Ending Referrals is it breaks it down into 2 letters a week for 13 weeks, once a quarter. We master it, we become that over time to where you're consistently and purposefully talking to your database based on the letters of the alphabet. So we break it down for you, give you a schedule for it. This week it's D and O. Be, do, have. This is the do part of your having. Do your database too and watch in 7 months how your businesses blow up. We expect a 10% return on your database. So if you want to sell 10 houses, you better have 100 people in your database. You guys want to sell 25 houses? Let's have 250 in your database. You either have them now and you're not or are not consistently communicating with them, or you need to add to them. Okay? So that's where we are this week. Let's go to the next one, Earl. Stay the ground, do the database too. Get yourself into groups. So you're on this Friday is going to be the 4th session. So you're on session 3 this week. What I do on Friday, we bring in the material, we do it all week, we go to the next material. It just expands on itself. By the time you're done, it just goes into plug and play autopilot, right? So this week, calling your D's and O's, if you don't have your people in groups yet on your database, you don't even know how to do that, we've got the training for that. Is your social media, is your telephone, can you easily call just D's and O's? I did it for the office myself. I have 175 give or take agents. There was 8 people in the A&W's week 2. B&E last week was 9, 10 people. So could I call 10 people in 1 week? And do I have a script of what to say? Right? So who am I going to call? What am I going to say in this business? Let's go to the next one. Here's your schedule. Guys, grab it from me if you want to. So here's where we are, A&W, B&E, D&O. H&D will be next week. On Friday, we'll talk about that. What does this be, do, have? You guys seeing a theme here, right? This week's the do, D, and O. It just helps you remember who you're calling. That's it. This is what the sessions stand for. I know a lot of you talk to me about geofarming. When you guys want to master farming, or you guys want to be average at farming, right? This is kind of a just breakdown of what you're going to get. We're doing social media session 4, sorry. Now, I talked about this briefly last team meeting. Who in here understands their behavior styles? Who's taking the disc? Raise your hand. Who's taking their KPAs? So you top producers, we're going to be going over more in depth the KPAs for yourselves and your hires in career visioning training this week. I'm going to give you guys a handout here. Let's turn to some of the material. See what my next slide is, Earl. Okay, go back to that last one. And some of this I went over last team meeting. I'm going to just touch this briefly, because here's the thing about do the database too, if you guys don't understand this. You're going to say the same script over and over for 13 weeks in a row. So how good do you get at having this conversation? You do pretty well. When I think about what to say, how important are scripts? How easy is it when I don't have to go, oh my God, what am I going to say when I call? You're at every team meeting, Judy Schrock. I'm running out. Judy, can you make me, I'm sorry, 6 more copies? It's okay. Everything that you guys have in your hands, I'm going to talk about up here. So, just like the disc, there's some 4 quadrants of behaviors. This is for you guys, for the people on your team, and for your clients. As you master behavior styles in your business, you get to where you really kind of easily read behavior styles and act accordingly. Let's just talk about your own. Would somebody that you know call you assertive, makes decisions quickly, determined, direct, quick to move forward to solve problems, clear sense of direction? Some people can make a decision and just kind of seems like they didn't have to think about it. Maybe you're sociable, never met a stranger, life of the party, loves to go out, loves to meet people, really wants to say who. Structured, kind of like to be right, detail-oriented, accurate and thorough, follow rules, establish procedures. Unstructured people in the room, you like to know what's going to be next on the slide, How are we gonna get this done? Can I have a list of what's gonna happen next? There's, every one of you is perfect in your own way, right? You're just fall under one of these categories. And steady, listens to others, calm, not so excitable like the team leader. You're a little more relaxed. Emotionally controlled, not so whimsical and airy-fairy. You maybe don't like to go to parties that much. Have a closer circle of friends. You have met strangers, you don't necessarily like them. Expecting a feeling others are likely to trust. So this is somebody, when you ever see somebody like a teacher, and I trust this person cares. So when you guys think about these 4 categories, your first little thing here was, who am I gonna have a peer partner with to get to that next level of who I wanna be? Second one talks about the category of the person. So when you look at the 3rd page here, would other people, let's say my spouse, my children, my best friend, say about myself, am I direct to the point? Am I outgoing, never met a stranger? Am I stable and steady, dependable, reliable? Am I cautious, compliant, accuracy is a must? My boyfriend, for example, if he doesn't have a spreadsheet and 18 things that he's researched it, not gonna have the conversation. That's just his personality style. So I want you guys to tell me which one you are. Write it on your little piece of paper or make a mental note. So when you guys talk about call your database, here's what DTD2 does. Somebody tell me how many phone calls there are to your clients.
4.
For a year. Once a quarter you call. So people that are the D's and O's in your database right now, which happens to be once a quarter. Guys, got that? So this quarter, you call through the alphabet list, and by the end of the quarter, come April 1st, you're going back to A's. You do that, and you say the same thing over and over and over, and by the end of the year, you've contacted everyone in your database 4 times. Every time you add someone, it becomes easy because they go on that week's calls. People don't slip through the cracks, okay? So let's just say let's go to the next page. I decided that I was the assertive person. Here's my thoughts and misunderstandings about making phone calls. Do I want to call and talk to people with my personality style? Here's my myth. I can't be successful with my database. I hate all those silly small talk conversations. Let's just say I fell under this category. I might say, it's kind of the back room there, Judy. Let's just say I thought, oh my God, are you going to stab me in the eyeballs? I got to call 9 people and they're going to tell me about their children's, accomplishments and Fluffy the kitty, and they're going to just go on and on and on. Oh, please don't make me do that, okay? The truth, they don't need to be your best friend. When you call them, they need you to be the trusted real estate advisor. Anybody in the room have a financial planner that calls you every now and then and just checks in with your account and checks in with the market for you? You don't really mind that call, not every day, once a quarter. Means they care. And that you go, oh yeah, actually I'm wondering what the market's doing. That's a business call. Let's say you're steady. I'm afraid people will feel like all I'm interested in is getting something from them. The truth is you really care about the people in your database. You choose to craft every call and script so that you come from contribution and add value. So if you think, oh, they're just going to think I'm a salesperson, what if you call and give them something of value? That's who you are, okay? Sociable, I want to be your best friend and I'm a social butterfly. I'm going to think my friends and database will feel like I'm bothering them and they're going to like me. I've had that belief. I'm like, I don't want to bother people. They don't want me to call them. The truth is, a genuine contribution is an energy which we choose to vibrate on every cell, thus they leave the call knowing they're valued. Let's say I call somebody up and said, I was just thinking about you today. I want to touch base. Does that hurt somebody? No. But this is where you take your scripts and put them into your style that you feel comfortable being. It's who you are. You can't be a tomato plant if you're a cucumber or vice versa, right? So script number 1, assertive and structured. As you go through, do the database 2, week in, week out, choose your script according to your personality style. It'll make you feel more authentic. It'll make you not have those myths that you have in your brain. If I call up somebody in my database because of my personality style, I'm going to say, hey, Ann, it's a business call. Got 2 minutes? Yes, I do. I just want to let you fill into the market. Here's what it is. Okay, great. Talk to you soon. Yes, I might say, how are you, right? That's going to be something like the conversation. When I gave you that first page of who your accountability partner is, I would encourage you guys to practice this with an accountability partner and talk about how you're doing on the database, getting through your database together. Let's say you guys have a team. Somebody on your team may be a different style than you. They might use a different script, a different way of conversing with people than you. You can't train people to be you, right? So let's skip on over to your database categories. Anybody in the room take Never Ending Referrals training last Friday? What was the concept of it?
I think I did this Friday I did the one before.
Last week was B&E,
Yeah.
okay? Be the Master Order Database was the content, and it was really going over business-to-business relationships and what we call your allied core advocates and allied resources. Where does this material come from?
Oh,
It comes from Bold. Where else? Well, Maps Coaching and Bold are kind of the same thing. Where else? Earl saying Ignite. Could be an Ignite, this information. I'm going to tell you that it comes from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. So, how often do I bring up that book in training? Okay? This is about targeting who you talk to. So your core advocates, anybody know what a core advocate is?
The people who really want to hear from you.
People who really want to hear from you. People who are raving fans. Your core advocates actually, your allied resources are usually your raving fans, and it doesn't matter necessarily the definition, but let's go to the definition on the next page. Your allied resources. People in real estate related fields you expect to do business with or receive business leads from every year. So they're in real estate related fields. Give me an example of a person in a real estate related field.
closer.
An inspector, a lender, a photographer, what else? Something like that, right? Stager. Who's in your business-to-business network? You're sending them referrals, and are they sending you referrals? Okay? Advocates, people who've done business with you and will absolutely do so in the future and bring other people to do business with you. That's usually your past clients. It's your family and friends. It's your raving fans. That is, you get purposeful with your database. You don't leave them in the lurch by not contacting them because you think they know you're a realtor. Your core advocates, people who will only do business with you and are well placed and will send you a steady stream of customers. So when you think about who might be a core advocate versus an advocate, that's where kind of Gary will go. You might have 25. These are the people you're taking to lunch, you're making sure you're in person with, you're going to their parties, you're attending functions with them, you're in very close contact with these people. They're your core. Your next level, say you had 100 people, are also your core advocates. You're wanting to move them into this circle usually. So straight out of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, guys. I'm not like trying to go, let's go deep into this. I want you to be aware of it. Your job in life is to feed your database and to make it grow. Anybody in here want to grow your business in 2018? Most of you in the room, right? This next page or slide talks about the future impact of adding one person to your database per day. So let's say you added one person per day, 5 days a week. You work about 20 days per month, give or take. Okay, maybe you don't work on Saturdays and Sundays on your database. You're spending time with your family. You added 20 people a month times 12. Somebody tell me how many people that is.
240.
How many?
240.
240 people you added by adding one person a day. Anybody here not believe you could add one person a day?
What I'm getting most out of the Never Ending Referral is I had a completely messed up the database before I became a realtor. I mean, everything was a mess. And it was so intimidating to me to face my database and try to straighten it out. And so what Never Ending Referrals is doing for me is it's breaking it down by those letters. And so focusing on those letters is helping me actually build, like 10 people.
It's about getting your database systemized using DT, D2, and also it's quite a bit more material that if you guys go on the path of mastery and you want to be successful, there's quite a bit in there that's not just the letters, okay? This right now, I told you next week we're going to talk social media. This is about your business-to-business relationships. So go to on the future impact where you look at your commission, this is basically about how much money you would make if you added 240 people and consistently communicated with them. There's a number that would spit out to be about 24 houses times your 6,000 of average commission. You guys do that math on your own because I'm going to run out of time here. But your business to business is your do this week. Add to, call your D's and O's you already know and have. Add D's and O's by going to your business to business relationships. Make it something that you focus on this week. Okay?
That's the question. When you do the 2 letters, you know, I have the categories, right? There's the allied resources.
Mm-hmm.
And so do they become people that you call in this week?
Absolutely. So every time you go meet someone,
everybody, so you can.
They go into that letter group.
And
Okay?
even if it's a business or a personal.
Yes. I mean, you're going to divide your groups into categories also. So that's part of the training. Is what do we call the people, right? So it's more than just a letter. However, let's talk about the business to business in the first place. Let's go to the next page where it's giving you some ideas of some business to business people who you either have in your database now or you don't have. For me, I had it in my HomeKeeper app. I had it on my website. I had a preferred vendor list. The office has a preferred vendor list. When you guys talk about the appreciation for the vendors that we're gonna do, we canceled it because of snow, but we'll reschedule. These are the people who are your core advocates out in the area that if you don't know one and your client says, you know somebody who paints, should you guys have a painter in your database? Yes. So here's by alphabet where you can say, in this example, it's accountants. They do this exercise in bold. So you would say, what category of a business owner maybe starts with a D, if you want to break it up into letter groups, that I don't have on my, in my relationships, and go out and meet one per day. Could you do that? Could you do one this week at least? I mean, it depends on how many people you want to add. Brian,
Yep.
what do you think about business to business relationships?
It's how I've built my business.
It's how you've built your business. That's how much you think it matters.
Yeah, and I've got 5 mouths to feed, so yeah, absolutely.
Who do you sell houses to, people? People that you've met. So somebody give me a, somebody in the, that you would be a professional that starts with a D. Okay, does anybody in the room know have a dentist?
Yes.
How many dentists do you know?
One.
Usually kind of one in that category, right? So let's say you had a brand new client that moved over here from Florida and they, you were talking to them with this script and they say, you know what, actually I kind of need a dentist. I've only lived here a couple months. You know anyone? And you say, well, absolutely, I know someone. So as you start talking about your own business to business database, you can do the exercise in your brain of what letters it is. You can just go through and say, well, let's just go to the basic core advocate of my industry. Who do I know? And do I have more than one? And have I met them in person? Have I contacted them? Okay? That's the training this week. I gave you some business to business scripts. It's all part of the training. The script to your client. So first you're calling the database and saying, let's just say I called my dentist, since we use that as an example. Hey, it's Anna Ryan, I'm a client. I wanted to talk to the dentist. Is he or she available? Yeah, they're busy. Well, they can call me back. Okay, great. How can I help you? I just wanted to make sure that if I had clients move into the area, I could give them your name. Is that okay with you? Well, yeah, that'd be great. Okay, perfect. Thanks. See ya, right? Maybe you see if you could meet them in person at some point. However you, dentist I think is maybe usually not that social, but maybe. Maybe. I know, I have friends orthodontists. And then now I'm calling my database on my D's and O's. So here I am and I ring, 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 and I say, hey, it's Anna, let's look at this last script and I'll let you guys go. May I speak with so-and-so? My name is Anna Ryan, I'm with Keller Williams Realty. Oh, this is the business to business script, sorry. Go to the star script. Hello, D&O in my database. This is Anna Ryan from Keller Williams. Thank you for taking my call. I was calling to say if you could help me with a project we're working on. Are you reading this, Brian?
Yes, I am. Absolutely. Thank you, Anna.
You guys read with me. I know you're in kindergarten, but come on. I was calling today to see if you could help me with a project we're working on for our friends and clients. Obviously, as a real estate professional, I have clients moving into the area. They're in need of all kinds of professional services and service providers that they left behind. I was curious if you, Mr. Person that I already know, DNO, had a 5-star experience in the last few weeks with anyone that's provided you service that you might suggest that we place in our directory. So what do I do if you ask me if I had a 5-star experience? My brain starts searching for some experience I've had that was good. I go, well, you know what? That Mexican food down the street was great. Okay, cool. I might say, what's the name of it? And then I could say, I'm actually looking for a dentist. Do you have one that you like? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Right? Thank you for taking a moment to help me. Also, one particular area that people ask about at this time of year is a great tax preparer or CPA. Do you happen to have a 5-star relationship that I could get introduced to? They say yes or no. They have a great tax person or they don't. If no, would you like me to call you back with my information as I gather it? It's just basically, it's not very confrontational phone call that you're making to your client, right? Thanks for your assistance with this project. As it comes together, I'll be sharing my findings with you. As well as always, we appreciate referrals. Is there anyone in the neighborhood that's considered buying or selling? Thanks for thinking about that. Anything I can do for you while we're on the phone? Have a great day. It really can be a 5-minute conversation. And it's like, why am I going to call my database and what am I going to say? Is it really that harmful to ask if they know anybody that does taxes? Are people right now wondering about their own taxes, their property taxes? Does that become conversation sometimes this time of year? Guys, tap into this. If you want to be successful, you've got to do these things. Have what you want to have. I know. Earl is my star student. And I've gone over, so I'm all done with you unless you have any questions.
And we have virtual tour, right?
Yes.
And you have virtual tour next.
Nobody went anywhere.
Everybody's down.